Okay, so what was your best Halloween costume that you've had?
My best Halloween costume was...
Okay, so what's been your favorite Halloween? Okay. What's been your favorite Halloween memory, like throughout?
Oh, I love trick-or-treating with my family. Stop it!
Do you have any plans for Halloween?
Yeah.
What are
What are they?
Actually, no.
No.
Okay, well, what was your favorite Halloween costume?
Like ever?
Yeah. Okay, what was your favorite Halloween costume you've ever had?
One time I was Wonder Woman one Halloween. That was fun. I was like 5.
Do you have a funny Halloween, like what's your funniest Halloween costume?
I mean,
What is your funniest Halloween costume?
My funniest Halloween costume was like a couple years ago.
I'm Coach A. I graduated from here in 2001, and this game always brings fond memories of the traditions, the rivalry, and of course there were always pranks. I remember my freshman year, Memorial had let out a bunch of mice throughout our cafeteria, but I would say my most favorite tradition between the rivalry was the Stratford Memorial Bonfire, and we used to have it out at the parking lot at Tully, and it would be a huge bonfire. The organizations would sell hot dogs, make popcorn, so that was by far my most favorite memory of this rivalry. But it's very much it is more tame in terms of student interaction and student pranks and things like that.
Dude. So I know the one thing we really looked forward to was the dress-up days. And Memorial's theme was always, it was called Mix-Up Memorial. And guys dressed as girls and girls dressed as guys. And it was dress-up was just for the seniors. In my senior year, the school decided that guys weren't going to be allowed to dress up as girls. So all the administrators were waiting outside of the school to bust any boys in dresses. So some of my athletic friends were in like these spaghetti strap dresses, and they got sent home. And then I don't think Mix Up Memorial happened again. Well, I know at least on the social media side, I know last year some of those Memorial, what was it, thugs something, like suddenly students were showing me stuff that Memorial was putting out on the social media world, and we didn't have anything like that before. So I think at least that it seemed that social media stuff got people quite riled up and a little angry about things, where before we just didn't like them, but it wasn't necessarily in your face.
So I don't actually have any memories as a student at all of the Stratford Memorial rivalry, because if you know me, maybe this won't surprise you, but I had absolutely no school spirit whatsoever. In fact, I didn't go to a single pep rally when I was a student. My very first pep rally at Stratford was when I was a teacher here in the fall of '04. But my very first year teaching at Stratford, I was forced by our principal to be the sponsor for senior men. And that year, somehow, magically, the senior men kidnapped the horse mascot from Memorial and hung it up on some gallows that they built in one of the courtyards at Westchester. I don't recall what happened to the students involved, but that is my Stratford Memorial rivalry memory.
I'm here to talk to you about the rivalry between Memorial and Stratford. It actually started in 1974 when the school was open and there were 6 high schools. Our biggest rival at that point till 1985 was actually Westchester High School. In 1985, Westchester combined with Stratford. From then on, it pretty much became Stratford against Memorial. And some of the funniest stories, I remember one when a student came in before school and said, "Miss Jackson, there's a chicken in the bathroom." And I'm like, "I'm not going out there because y'all are going to scare me." And so sure enough, we went into the bathroom and there was a chicken. The principal at the time was Mr. Junty. In retaliation, he had 3 chicken dinners sent over to Memorial High School, and he said, "This is what we're going to do tonight to y'all." It's always been a fun rivalry, but about 3 years ago, we said, why don't we take this rivalry and turn it into something good? And that's when we started. We challenged Memorial that year to how many cans we could get for the food bank. And so that's really helped. We ended up filling over 7 food banks the first year, and then we went from 4,000 cans to like 45,000 cans the last year that we did it. So it ended up being good. We got to keep it going. I'd rather be dead than red.
Are you exhausted from school and do you want an extra hour of sleep?
Well, then set your alarm clocks an hour later on November 1st, which is
Daylight savings!
But wait, what comes before daylight savings?
Halloween!
On October 31st, Halloween, there's going to be a full moon. The first one in 75 years to happen on Halloween.
So make sure you watch out for werewolves.
Hey guys, I'm Drew Aaron. And I'm Ed Abbott. Come watch us with Memorial. It's next Friday, 7 o'clock till. I'd rather be dead than red, honestly.
Cut.
Get this thing off. No, that's
I am Miss Baker. I am the choir director, one of the choir directors. I'm Miss Baker and one of the choir directors, and yeah. It was 2016 when she first got diagnosed. My mom got diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016. I was in grad school, and I was able to do grad school and teaching at the same time. So I was in grad school over the summer. It was June 2016. She called and she said, "Just want you to know I am getting tested for breast cancer, and it will most likely be a positive test for breast cancer." And I remember being in my friend's car on the way there, just started sobbing, just because when you hear the C word, you just think the worst. And then, but we kind of went through, and then it was stage 3 breast cancer, which I guess there are 4 stages. Stage 3, and she, as soon as she got home, they started chemo. And I mean, for me, it was a lot of like shock, and like she was on a European trip, so I couldn't talk to her all the time, but she assured us that she was going to fight. She was going to fight the whole way, and she did. A year after, kind of April 2017 is when she was deemed cancer-free, and we had a really amazing year after that. My mom and I went to London, and we still like had regular life experiences, because at that point we were like cancer free, and then December of 2018 is when she got the stage 4 diagnosis, and when she told us that, again tears, she told us at that point she would be living with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And so what metastatic means is that it has spread to other places in her body. So she it was a breast cancer patient still, but it had spread to her bones, and then ultimately spread to her liver, and that's kind of what happened. That's what kind of got her in the end. But her experience throughout the whole thing was chemo. But she was like, I'm not going to stop living my life. The question was, how did you support her? And quite frankly, she supported us, because it was hard to watch all of it. And she was the support for us. She was like, I'm fighting. It's okay. I'm still going to fight. I'm going to fight. And even if she had bad news, she turned something positive. Not once ever did she have that experience where it was like, oh, woe is me. It was always, I'm going to fight. I'm keeping on. I mean, it was always, I'm going to stay positive through. I mean, she had a positive bone. So to answer your question, I don't know. I supported her 100%, but she really supported us and made us feel better. Colleagues and said, your mom travels more than anyone in the world. And I'm like, well, her hashtag was cancer can't stop me. And so she would just do all these fun, fabulous things and do chemo at the same time. Her positivity was contagious. I mean, she just had just all this positivity, so I tried to keep that positivity with me.
Are there any questions that are like misconception questions, or like that students shouldn't ask, or like there's questions that students should ask that are more respectful than others?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's appropriate to say, how are you doing? Like, how are you handling your mom being sick, or your dad or somebody? How are you doing? Like, from friend to friend. I think for me, I don't mind talking about it. I'm sitting here talking to you about it. For me, I don't mind talking about my mom. So each person's different. I might cry if I talk about her, but I don't mind. So I think it's important for friends to be able to check in on friends, even if the friend is not the one going through the sickness. It's important for, hey, how are you doing during your mom or your dad's sickness? Because I want to make sure you feel supported. Her service, she passed on August 14th, 2020. Her service, we were able to have 60 people, which was very generous at her service, but over 400 people tuned in to the live stream. She was loved by so many people, and that is the most inspiring thing, is how she just was so loved. And I tell all the people, like, I want to be just like her. I want to be just like her. I want to live like, what would Jenny Baker do, is what I say all the time. So, she was just the most loving and compassionate person that I will miss. I will miss my phone calls. I'll miss so much. I mean, she's my mom. So, I'm very grateful for the time that I've had with her. And, yeah.